it cannot be said that original section 276 DD is draconian in nature, as penalty imposed for violation of section 269 is imprisonment, which may extend to 2 years and shall also be liable to fine equal to the amount of loan or deposit. This section was subsequently omitted and a new section 271 was enacted. The penalty of imprisonment was deleted in the new section. The new section 271D provides only for fine equal to the amount of loan or deposit taken or accepted it. It is important to note that another provision, namely section 273B, was also incorporated, which provides that notwithstanding anything contained in the provisions of section 271D, no penalty shall be imposable on the person or the assessee, as the case may be, for any failure referred to in the said provision, if he proves that there was reasonable cause for such failure, and if the assessee proves that there was reasonable cause for failure to take a loan otherwise than by account payee check or account payee demand draft, then the penalty may not be levied. Therefore, undue hardship is very much mitigated by the inclusion of section 273B in the Act. If there was a genuine and bona fide transaction, and if for any reason the taxpayer could not get a loan or deposit by account payee check or demand draft for some bona fide reasons, the authority vested with the power to impose penalty has got discretionary power. In the aforesaid circumstances, it cannot be said that section 269 or 271 or section 276 is unconstitutional on the ground that it was draconian or expropriatory in nature. In both these appeals, the constitutional validity of subsection 269 and 271D of the Income Tax Act 1961 (foreshort the Act) is challenged. In Criminal Appeal number 601 of 1992, the learned single judge of the Madras High Court quashed the prosecution initiated against the respondent by holding that section 269 is violative of Article 14 of the Constitution, and therefore the prosecution initiated against the respondent was not legal. The learned single judge granted certificate under Article 134A of the Constitution, and the present appeal has been filed by the department. In Civil Appeal number 4478 of 2000, the appellant had challenged the constitutional validity of section 279 and 271 of the Act before the High Court. The learned single judge dismissed the writ petition. The division bench in Writ Appeal number 5447 of 1999 affirmed the order of the learned single judge. The judgment of the division bench is now challenged before us in this appeal. Section 269 was inserted in the Income Tax Act by Finance Act 1984 with effect from 1/4/1984, but the same was made operative from 1/7/1984. The Income Tax Department, in course of searches carried out by them from time to time, recovered large amounts of uncounted cash from certain taxpayers, and often the taxpayers gave explanation for their unaccounted cash to the effect that they had borrowed loans or received deposits made by other persons. Sometimes it was noticed that the unaccounted income was also brought into the books of accounts in the form of loans and deposits, and later they would obtain confirmatory letters from other persons in support of their explanation. Stop.